Hello and welcome back. Kuli kayo, as we say in Luganda. It does make me laugh how you can just nip out of the house for a couple of minutes to buy something and you get a chorus of Kuli kayo when you get back home. And it's one of the very enchanting things about Ugandans, how they're happy to see you back safely. My name's Charlotte Beauvoisin and I'm the host of the East Africa Travel Podcast. I'm also the author of Diary of a Muzungu, a travel blog that I started in 2008, initially about Uganda, but now covering more of East Africa. I'm very excited to be talking to you here today at Sunbird Hill, my happy place here on the edge of Kibale National Park. It's the middle of the day, it's cool here on the forest edge, the air is full of butterflies. I heard chimpanzees in the distance this morning. Yesterday I saw monkeys, not sure which ones, possibly Nagawa's enchima, the red-tailed monkey, or black and white colobus, beautiful black and white monkey with a very long tail. And if you listen to season 1, you might remember that my local name is Nagawa. The red-tailed monkey is my totem that I have to protect. I can't kill it and I can't eat it. It's a lovely part of the Buganda culture, Buganda kingdom being the traditional kingdom of the Kampala area of central Uganda. When I launched the podcast, I was inviting you into my world and to meet the people and the creatures who are part of my everyday life. The birds that wake me up in the morning, the birds that signal the end of the day, the nighttime sounds on the edge of the forests, and nature lovers and conservationists that I've worked with, visitors that I've just met randomly, travel writers from across the region. But what I didn't realise was how I would become a part of your life. And I've had some beautiful bits of feedback from all around the world. One listener commented how fun it was to have the sounds of the jungle filling my Paris apartment. Another friend commented on how amazing it was to hear the sounds of the jungle as she was waiting for a train in Lisbon, the busy capital of Portugal. Simon in Australia said how much he enjoyed the podcast. He said it was really great for long solo drives, like having me in the passenger seat. It was really fun to think about your lives and how you're slotting me into your busy schedule. So keep the feedback coming. It's wonderful to hear from you. A special thank you to Adrienne. She wrote, if you want something unique in your life, give Charlotte's East Africa Travel Podcast a listen. I love how the podcasts are filled with the voices and noises of her home in Uganda. Adrienne and I have never met, but LinkedIn says that we both studied at School of Oriental and African Studies in London. My colleague, Dr. Celestine Katongole, head of the tourism department at Makerere University Business School in Kampala, said, I listened to the Nnaabagareka podcast. It was excellent. I would love to listen to many more. I even feel you should have been a journalist. You steer the conversation excellently well. Thank you, Celestine. And a massive, heartfelt thank you to Sambaza, a Kenyan living in the diaspora who took time to review mine and a number of other podcasts from Africa.
Miss Charlotte, I'm lucky I saw your podcast and I'm going to be listening to your podcast. I love the way you bring in nature. You actually get to listen to the podcast with the sounds that are there. It actually makes me miss home.
So here we are back on the edge of Kibale Forest. It's a tropical rainforest, home to 13 different types of primates, including chimpanzees and baboons, a variety of monkeys and bush babies, extraordinary bird life, incredible butterflies. Some of them are huge. Moths, insects, huge beetles. The world's heaviest beetle, the giant Goliath beetle. I remember the first time I heard them, when it was flying, it was like a helicopter.
Yeah.
It was so loud, and I think it might have been drunk because it wasn't flying straight.
They're very loud, yeah.
There's still so much more to explore in the natural world. I moved up here temporarily for 3 months, and that was probably 6 years ago now, and it amazes me how every day I will see something new. 2 days ago, I found a spider. It had black and white striped legs and its body was pale green. Imagine that. Sunbird Hill is a 43-acre private home and it's a rewilding site It supports In the Shadow of Chimpanzees, an NGO that trains local people in conservation and how to identify birds, snakes, insects, all the smaller things a lot of people ignore. A lot of visitors to Uganda will come to Kibale to see the chimps. And guests who come for the Sunbird Hill experience always want to come back, always say, wish I was staying longer. We're literally touching the border of the national park. If I carry on walking down this path, I will hit the elephant trench, and it's a big hole in the ground that goes for a couple of kilometres in each direction and 2 metres deep, 2 metres wide. Elephants are so clever, and they know where the trench fills up with water because there's a swamp, and they will push across there if they possibly can. So there's a wooden boardwalk in both directions actually, and every few months Uganda Wildlife Authority will come back and fix it because the forest gradually rots and eats everything and it disappears, and then the elephant will quickly find somewhere where it's broken and find another way to cross. The elephants are definitely around at the moment because we heard some warning gunshots go off the other night. We love elephants, but they're a big problem if you're a farmer because the elephant will come out and eat your crops and just trample everything else. I found a very big muddy footprint when I was on a walk the other day. So if you love elephants, nature walks, want to hear from reformed poachers and rangers and guides about what it's like to live with elephants or to see them on safari, you're in the right place. Why did I start the podcast? During lockdown, when I couldn't get online, the only way I could keep in contact with friends and family overseas was to send them an audio note on WhatsApp. And so many people commented, oh, I hadn't realised what Uganda's really like. I can hear all those birds in the background. It sounds so tropical. Now I understand why you live there. Writing my blog, Diary of a Muzungu, has given me fantastic opportunities to travel, to do all kinds of amazing activities, gorilla tracking, chimp tracking, hot air balloon safari over the Masai Mara, dolphin watching in Kenya with the Watamu Marine Association. I've got such an interesting network of experts in so many different fields. I'm really thrilled to have a platform in which I can capture our conversations and help promote what they're doing as well. If that can inspire you to travel and visit their projects, or simply if you enjoy armchair travelling and reconnecting with nature for a few moments, then I'm sure you're going to love the content that I've got planned for you. It's an immense honour to talk to experts in fields of primatology, ornithology, endless ologies, and not only do I get to hang out with cool people who are doing fun stuff, trying to protect Africa's wild spaces, I learn so much, and it's such a gift, and I'm immensely grateful. So this is a thank you from me, Charlotte Beauvoisin, to everyone who's agreed to be on the podcast so far. I'm so inspired by your work and really thrilled that you spent time chatting with me for the podcast. A few of my favourite guests from season 1. Her Royal Highness, the Nnaabagareka, Queen Sylvia of Buganda Kingdom. She was such great company.
Seeing the gorillas is just amazing. One of the most exciting things also is just the trekking itself.
She'd just come back from gorilla tracking in windy impenetrable forest. You can hear in her voice how much she enjoyed the experience. The Nnaabagareka is the patron of conservation through public health. In Tanzania, I visited the original Maasai Lodge. The music is incredible. You'll love that episode. In Redmond OBE, discussed the interconnectedness of life from the elephant, gorilla and chimpanzee gardeners in the rainforests of the Congo Basin and how that's connected with a loaf of bread in England.
I'm fond of saying that if you can't save the world and have a good time while you're doing it, what's the point? So yes,
very good advice.
Be positive and cheerful and determined to make a positive difference, whether you're in your backyard or local park.
Pam Cunnyworth from Diani in Kenya told us about practical steps hotels can take to minimise encounters with monkeys and baboons. If you live on the edge of a national park, monkeys can be a major headache.
Baboons are my favourite primate species. Indiani people are quite fearful of them. Adult males in their prime, their head is coming up to my hip. Admittedly, I'm very short, so maybe that's not a good judge of height, but they're clever, they're problem solvers, they're big, and I think that scares people.
Yes.
Instead of taking the time to actually sit and watch them.
Famous primatologist and anthropologist Professor Richard Wrangham discusses chimpanzees.
The fact is that Uganda is the only country where you can have really strong expectation of seeing both chimpanzees and gorillas.
I hang out in the Bird-Eyed with guidebook writer Philip Briggs.
No question in my mind that Uganda is the best birding destination in Africa. If you combine the size, the compactness of the circuit, the ease of moving between different habitats, and just the sheer variety of birds is on the equator, which is always where biodiversity is its highest. I forget the exact number of bird species recorded here, but I think it's around 1,050, which perspective I think is the fourth biggest in Africa, but the other countries ahead of it would all be at least double the size. In the case of the Congo, it could eat 20 Ugandans for breakfast. It's just an incredible diversity of birds here.
The bird hide at Sunbird Hill turns out to be a really lovely place for us to sit and chat, wobbly wooden benches notwithstanding. We talked about insects, particularly moths, with German entomologist Dr. Michael Ochser. As with every subject, when you get a chance to engage with an expert, it's so much more interesting than you could ever have imagined. Chris Ketola visited Sunbird Hill from his home in Peru. It was amazing to hear how much he loved Uganda and how the country really blew his socks off.
Beautiful leopard laid out, sleeping on a log, perfect visibility, not obscured, amazing views for an hour. We kind of got tired and left.
Really?
Everything went perfect for that safari.
And that's from somebody who lives deep in the Amazon, who's surrounded by incredible biodiversity. He has seen so much, but to come to Uganda and to come back again and again because he sees there's so much more to study and research, that's such a wonderful endorsement for this country. Rob Walker was a huge bundle of fun, best known in the UK for his sports commentary on snooker in particular. He's a regular commentator on all the big athletic events around the world, including the Olympics and the Commonwealth Games. I talked to him when he was on an official tour of Uganda.
I've said it time and time again. It's the friendliness of the people that is the number one selling point of this place. There is just everyday friendliness, and it permeates every level of society.
His energy, his enthusiasm for Uganda and Ugandans is just on a whole other level. You'll get a real buzz from listening to Rob talk. Another favourite episode was on safari in Chambura Game Reserve with Jonathan Wright and Wild Places. If you want to hear what it's like to wake up on safari with hippos right outside your tent, then do listen in. What a treat to have a walking safari in Queen Elizabeth National Park, an exclusive opportunity courtesy of Wild Places and Uganda Wildlife Authority. I'm sure you'll love that one too. If you like the sound of the places that I visit, feel free to send me a message anytime. I work with lodges, hotels, tour operators and destinations across East Africa, and I'm always happy to recommend a tour operator or give you some more travel advice. Everything that's on the podcast is personally researched by me. I try my best to get all my facts up to date. You can always message me if you want me to check something for you. Coming up in season 2, I take you gorilla tracking in Bwindi. Yes, you will actually hear the gorillas. You'll meet the trackers of Kibale Forest who follow the chimpanzees with the tourists. We go to Old Town Mombasa. We take the train from Nairobi to Mombasa. We talk to Mzee Silver Chamokamo, the reformed poacher. We hang out with my friend, travel journalist Harriet Owala from Kenya. Ikechi Uko, a tourism ambassador who has done so much to develop and promote tourism in Nigeria and across West Africa. We talk about parrots with Rowan Martin from the World Parrot Trust and Nick Biaba from Sunbird Hill. Again in Kenya, I hang out with Diani Turtle Watch, the young Kenyan volunteers who are protecting a range of sea turtles, collecting the eggs, moving them to a secure location and monitoring them carefully until the turtle hatchlings are ready to climb out of their sandy burrow and head back to the ocean. I can't believe I was lucky enough to be there and take part in carefully moving the eggs and watching hundreds of turtles race back into the Indian Ocean. Wow, well, you can tell we've been busy. We have endless content planned for you. More nature walks, on safari, interesting conversations. Well, I think so. Thanks for listening this far. I just want to say big thank you to Brian Kisembo, my sound recordist. I wouldn't be doing any of this without him. So thank you, Brian, for being part of this great big adventure. A big thank you as well to Lindsay Ann Gould of the Podcast Boutique in the UK. Your advice has been absolutely invaluable. You've been listening to the East Africa Travel Podcast, hosted by me, Charlotte Beauvoisin, author of Diary of a Muzungu, as we hang out with cool people doing awesome stuff to protect our planet. Tune in every week for the Dawn Chorus, travel advice, chats with award-winning conservationists, safari guides, birders, lodge owners and travel writers. Tell me what you think, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like. Thanks for listening. I'd so love it if you could write a review and share this podcast with friends or anyone you know who might enjoy a bit of inspiration from East Africa. See you next time.